What is up, bros? Me, Josh here. In today's video, we're doing another episode of Breaking It Down, my series where we dive into some fun games that I've played and really break down kind of some advanced play and what I'm thinking, and hopefully helps you guys out with your play. Today, we are playing The Sims. And actually, not a normal Sims. We're actually rolling a full AA spec Sims. I'll put a link down below to the build of this ship, kind of discussing how it's played. And pretty much what you are is an AA focused Sims, and you will absolutely shred planes. You're almost the equivalent of when you pop your consumable of an Atlanta. Again, I'll put a link down below. You guys can actually play it. So, what I want to kind of talk about on this video is that there's been some the topic of farming damage has come up a lot recently with some other CCs, and how everyone is just so focused on farming damage, and damage is the only thing. And as you can see here, we're gonna start ripping up some planes as well. And really, for me, if I do damage in a game, that's a plus. I'm more focused about winning. I like winning this game. It's the thing I go out for. And if I do damage, that's a plus. There are some times where I guess I'll never trade damage for a win. If I can win, I'm going to try to win. And in this game, it's a perfect scenario. I don't do that much damage. I end up doing a decent amount of damage, but I am, more importantly, playing the role of a destroyer in a 2v1 destroyer game, as well as playing an anti-AA destroyer, as you can see right here. And I held my AA off there. As you can see right there, guys, that's normally what I do with DDs anyway, is you start with AA off, and I knew he wasn't focused. I wasn't spotted yet by planes, and because my AA is so high, I didn't want him to go near me, so I waited for him to get pretty close to me, and then I popped on my AA, and as you can see, I'm absolutely shredding planes there. So as you can see just a little bit ago, I didn't have my AA on, and then I held it till he was really close, and then once I was spotted by planes, kind of figured out where he was, then I threw on my AA, and by hitting P, the P key, and then once I saw he was going to be flying over me, I actually hit the A consumable. So what you are as a AADD, and this works as most of the USN because they get the consumable, as well as like the Grozavoy, the tier 10 for the Russian line, is you are a floating AA bubble. And what does that mean? That you are going to be able to do an AA up to a certain range. I think the Sims goes out to like 7.2, and you will absolutely shred planes at that, especially at this tier, especially going against tier 6 planes. You'll even do a good job against tier 8s, even some tier 9 planes. You can even shred those out and be very, very effective and support your ship. So as you can see right now, kind of breaking down the map, one, it's a 2v1 destroyer game. The other destroyer went to here, so as did the rest of the team. So he was sticking over here. They only have one destroyer, and it's another Egla. So Egla versus Egla, they're going to spot each other at the same time. I'm trying to float more mid. These guys are going to have enough AA against the Ryuzo strike, so I'm not too worried about them. So this, I'm trying to support these guys as much as I can and control mid, trying to find that destroyer. So there's no need for me to go with the Egla and hunt him down. I need to be elsewhere on the map, spotting, holding down the middle so these guys don't get flanked. These guys can use these islands if they want and really keep this guy at bay. And again, holding down an entire side to for those potential planes that are coming in, and to actually do a strike on something like that. So one, I am just complete aerial denial right now. As you can see, I've done no damage so far. All I've done is shoot down 8 planes, and that's it. I protected some of my guys from that squad, so especially taking down the fighters. One thing that's really, really important for CVs versus CVs, of course, the main things you should be focusing are torp bombers. If it's of the two, even with AP bombers, I would still focus torp bombers. The fastest they get out of torp bombers, the better. Flooding is absolutely brutal. I know AP bombs are pretty rough, and luckily their Egla sat in smoke. So the Sims torp, some of the slowest in the game, were able to actually hit them. But one of the most important things you want to do is focusing torp bombers, but actually, if you can, focus fighters. I know a lot of people only focus on strike planes, which is fine. But if you are able to take down fighters, that's going to give your CV a better chance to give him total air supremacy, which is what you really want to do in the end. And so, one, I'd probably focus on torp bombers first, but then I would probably focus on fighters second. Give your CV the chance to control him, because if their CV doesn't have fighters and yours does, he can then do a good job, assuming he knows what he's doing, which is always never always the case, but you gotta hope that he at least kind of knows what he's doing. So again, I could have shot at that destroyer. I could have shot at that Gneisenau. I could have farmed more damage, but I'm holding my shot. I don't want them to know where I am. mainly because I outspot that Egla, and that's one of the things I'm kind of looking for. Is if I'm going to engage this guy, I want to get as good an advantage as possible, and since I'm a lower life, because you can't take survivability with this build, you have to be a little more careful on what you choose for your fights. So I'm trying to be as sneaky as possible, get into the right situations, and then do damage to him, do damage to other ships, and again, still playing that assisting role. I guess like the main thing about this is it's not all about dealing damage, it's about what I'm dealing damage to. This is a 2v1 destroyer game, so I'm trying to take out that one destroyer and do what I can and help my team not get struck by planes. And again, so as you can see, more planes coming in over towards that side, so I'm going to head that side and again throw in whenever you can. Simstorps don't hit that often because they're so slow, but you can get some good aerial denial. So if I throw torps at something, potentially they could hit. You never know, as we only got one. But it's more of a complete aerial denial than anything. So, and nothing's really shooting at me that much, so I'm going to open up on this Egla again. But working towards the crew, because we know where that guy is, but I'm trying to watch this battleship because he's a prime target to get struck. So throwing in some torps on the Bismarck, potentially he's going to get hit, going to go dark, and do what you can. One tip that's you can also use is when you are repairing or not preparing, if you're sitting on a smoke, if you need to, you can also wait for to go undetected all the way, especially with something like secondaries like the Bismarck. Waiting until like the last secondaries are in the water, because if you repair, because the repair window is so small for destroyers, that if a dingleberry secondary in the air can get you on fire again, though it's not very good. So one thing I like to do is if I do smoke up, I like to wait until all the secondaries are in and then start working it. So this Ganiza now is going to take a nice little bit of damage, turns into those torps, and then this actually got me a little scared. This Egla got a little close, and I thought I could potentially shoot on him, but I lit him on fire, and he let this sit a little longer than I thought he would, and so I thought he was gonna make me go pink, which would have sucked. But luckily he ends up repairing it a little bit. I thought he was just gonna sit on it and make me go pink, but his repair was down. But again, we have one kill, 8 planes, 1 torped, 17k damage. Again, we're not trying to farm crazy damage. We're using smokes, taking out the battleships, and really, again, as you see, I'm mainly chilling in the middle of this map. And as you can see, the rest of our team they're pushing around the east side, as their team's kind of starting to push towards the west side. So what am I gonna do? I'm gonna rotate north. Again, I'm trying to mainly focus on that destroyer, and kind of get into a spot to potentially take that down. So I'm pretty close to this, so I'm just going to try to cut these planes off. This Baron is the ship I was trying to kind of protect this entire game, because he's prime. Although the Baron AA is pretty decent, he was kind of the one ship on the side. I think the Chappie is the one that's way up northwest. So I figured this guy wouldn't have the best AA, but I'm trying to kind of hold it down and keep him safe from this strike. And I think the CV is basically, I'm still shredding planes at that range. But again, my main focus is one, aerial denial. All I'm trying to do is do as much damage as I can to this destroyer, keep him spotted. And now, since these guys are kind of far away, especially the Cleveland, they're not super accurate at long range because of the arc. So one thing you can do is kind of engage them at a bit longer range if you have decent aim, and they're gonna have a tough time hitting you. Also, one tip, I talked about this on the stream the other day. Even when you're playing CV too, if you're playing the CV, always make the enemy CV pay for a strike, no matter what. You know, I see a lot of CVs, if they miss, let's say CV sends all of his strike towards the battleship, and they miss the defend on the battleship. That sucks. The battleship took a lot of damage, and, you know, maybe he got killed or something like that. But whenever you can, make that CV pay for it. So as you can see, I popped AA right there. The Ryujo doesn't have too many planes in the hangar anyways. But whenever you can, even after you see a strike as an AA cruiser, pop that AA and make him pay for what he's done. So the faster the CV runs out of planes, the less damage you can do. So I know a lot of people kind of use it defensively, but you can also kind of use it offensively. So if those planes are going to be flying back over you or near you, and you pop AA, and shred 8-10 planes out, then it's going to give you a good chance to just slowly work that out. There's not many CVs that have, you know, a ton of planes. So if you're taking 8-10 planes on a strike, and then that doesn't even count what he did before the strike, what he lost before the strike, you're gonna make a CV run out of planes really quick. So again, another situation. This Egla slows down on this point, and I knew he was gonna push this way at some point. So I was just kind of chilling here, and I figured these torps are so slow. They're called like the landmines in this game. That's what everyone kind of calls them. And as you can see, I kind of just went against what I just said. I should have waited on that fire as I got in the smoke, because he could have lit me on fire again. But I kind of anticipated him rolling around that corner, and so I threw those slow torps there before he was even spotted, and luckily enough, he just kind of backed up, and the ones on the point ended up getting the kill. So again, what was our main job this game? We're searching for that destroyer, controlling the middle of the map, and applying AA. What have we done? We've killed that DD, we've kept the battleship alive, we shot down 17 planes so far, and really just kind of supported the team, spotted, and done a pretty good job. I mean, our team did a really good job at pushing up. One thing that a lot of teams will do is, and this got really confusing here because the Chappie has 4-kilometer torps, but hey, why would you launch torps when you could ram, I guess? But anyways, got a tier 8 cruiser for a tier 6, always a good trade. So anyways, guys, a quick little game here, no big deal. Again, I'll put the link down below for the AA build, and you know, it's not all about doing damage. So this is what I run on the Sims, and again, we're on the Twitch Prime port. Also, that offer is still going on. If you have Twitch Prime, you can get some Twitch Prime gear, get the Twitch Prime port, actually get Kappa as a captain, and a bunch of other cool stuff. I'll put a link down below for that as well. But this is what I run, pretty basic. I want to keep my AA mounts as much as possible. AA range is the 2 basic ones, and then captain is completely decked out for AA. So manual AA, AFT, BFT. So the things you can't really take on this are survivability expert, some other stuff that I would normally take, maybe superintendent. But this is what you're basically taking throughout this whole thing, and making an AA monster. So again, a fun little game with the Sims, guys. This is a great ship. You can do this with the I think you can do it with the Benson Sea Hall even. The Fletcher is what you see a lot of people do. The Kid, the USS Kid, the other premium tier 8. You can also do it with the Gearing and the Grozavoy. There's a bunch of stuff you can do this with, and even like the Akazuki, although the Akazuki doesn't have the AA consumable. But again, it's not all about damage, guys. If you want to focus on doing damage, you know, you can. The Sims can do a ton of damage. This thing will shred other destroyers. It's actually a decent little gunboat because how fast it can fire, and the guns have a great. These are Fletcher guns, so they have great HE alpha. And you can really be effective at doing a ton of damage. I've had monster games in this, but sometimes if you roll that specific that AA ship, that role specific ship, and you can be super effective at what you have to do, shutting down other destroyers, locking down areas of being an AA bubble, and there's nothing CVs can do. I mean, moving against a tier 6 CV, you could easily go against a tier 7, tier 8, tier 9 and still be very effective, still shooting down planes and still being a winner for a destroyer. So it's all about damage, guys. Have fun out there, play some different roles. You know, this is a fun one, especially since there's more and more CV players, especially in kind of the mid tiers, the 6, 7, 8. It seems like there's a lot of CVs right now. So you know, you can maybe drop an AA cruiser, roll the AA DD instead, and you can still be effective as a destroyer. I tend not to roll too many AA specific ships outside of destroyers. I don't run like a full AA battleship build. I don't run really full AA cruiser builds. I run cruisers that have decent AA with some stuff that helps them out, but never full builds. These are the roles that I really run here. So one thing you can do is you can trade up, let's say, like an AA destroyer with like a German battleship that doesn't have very good AA. So you can kind of mix and match and help maybe a potential weak target that doesn't have that's going to be susceptible to planes, and run an ADD and completely support them and stuff like that. So anyways, guys, just want to make a quick little video on this week's episode of Breaking It Down, playing a kind of role specific ship in an AA destroyer. Again, I'll put a build onto this in the video going over the AA sims, and hope you guys have fun out there. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Remember to like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.